Beautiful. All right. So I wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about some business planning, which is very important. There's a saying that says, if you fail to plan, you just plan to fail, basically. And so many people in our industry are entrepreneurs, and we have that spirit. But we eat what we kill, right? We are go time. You've got to constantly be doing deals, things like that. And sometimes we take a lot of time working in the business, but we don't take enough time working on the business. And one of the things I've learned from my mentor that 1 minute of planning is as good as 10 minutes of actual productivity that you're putting in and work that you're putting in. And so today I'm going to bring on Ryan. I got to tell you, I love Ryan when I met him. I met him recently, but one thing I loved about him, he's a hustler. He came out and visited me at an open house. For those of you who are realtors that are watching this, whether you're watching the recording or watching live right now, Stacey and I have been doing real estate since '97. Look, we're old school. Don't call us old timers. You can call us old school if you want. We prefer the term seasoned realtors. Been doing it a long time, and we cut our teeth in the business back in the day when the average sales price we were selling was $79,000 back in 1997 in Columbus, Ohio here. And what we learned is that getting into open houses, being where the real estate is happening, being online is great, getting to meet people online and stuff, and that's a great way for continuing a relationship, but it's really tough to build the initial relationship, right? That face-to-face, that belly-to-belly, that pressing the flesh. And Ryan shows up with his beautiful, was it wife or fiance,
Wife.
girlfriend? Your wife?
Yes, sir.
Shows up, and he comes in, he lets me know right up front, he's out just visiting agents out doing open houses, and I got a chance to meet him. I loved the coming out and meeting face to face, right? We connected immediately on that and some other things personally, which is the way you connect. And I loved it. And I wanted you guys to get a chance to meet him because what I was hearing from him, I'm like, I need you to share this with the rest of the group. And so Ryan's been doing this for a couple of years. He's with NFM Lending, and I'll let him give you his spiel as he gets going. But I liked what I heard, and after 25 years, I want you guys to hear it too. So I'm going to mute out here, Ryan, and every now and then I'll jump in and say something. But it's yours. I made you the co-host, and I think I'm going to highlight. Just I'm going to spotlight you. Okay.
Sure thing. Alrighty, Jim, thank you so much for that intro. I am a firm believer in meeting face-to-face. Online is great. Zoom meetings are great to do classes like this, coaching like this, but it was a pleasure getting to meet you and hear about your story and Stacey's as well. I want to keep this quick for all you guys out here. I have about a 10-minute presentation for you. If you didn't hear from Jim's intro, my name is Ryan Quammen. I'm with NFM Lending. I originate out of Columbus, Ohio, but we are licensed across the nation. So today, what I want to share with you is a one-page 2023 business planning. I'm going to cover your pillars of business. I'm going to cover what's important on planning for next year. And this business plan for you guys to know was created by a top 1% loan originator. His name's Daniel Sa, and he coaches a reversed engineering way of planning out your next year. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive right in. All righty, Jim, is that showing up on your end there?
Yep, you are all good.
Thumbs up. All righty, you guys. A business planning session I want to cover before we get into the meat and potatoes of this business plan. I want to cover why it's important and why we should take at least, like Jim was saying, 1 minute is equal to 10 minutes of productivity. We should take at least an hour in the next week before the ball drops to plan out your next year. This is crucial for your long-term and short-term goals. Creating a map is a clear path to success. I like saying this, you might have heard it before. You can't change what you don't track. So we're going to do that today. This helps you hold yourself accountable to your goals. And you have the ability to grow and learn from what you planned out at the beginning of the year per quarter. So before we actually get into this, I want to really hit this point hard. Your business plan should be reviewed at least once a quarter, if not once monthly. This is not a New Year's resolution that we're setting out, you guys. This is something that we're going to stick to and hold ourselves accountable to on, I'd like to say, a monthly basis, at least a quarterly basis, so that you can make sure you're on track to hit your goal for next year. This is going to be our one-page business plan. We have a couple pages below, which we'll get into in just a minute here, but I want to spend most of our time, most of 5 minutes on this, and we can go back and schedule a one-on-one meeting. I have a heart for coaching. If you guys want to get into the nitty-gritties on what each one of these categories means, we'll schedule a time, or if you have a quick question after the call, I'd be happy to answer. But as we dive right in, I want to start on this first page here, this top dollar revenue goal. Now, what I've been coached and what I want to coach you on today is reverse engineering what you want your overall income to be. And then from there, we're going to find out what actions we need to take in order to hit that overall revenue.
I love that, Ryan. Start with the end in mind and work it backwards. I love it.
Exactly, Jim. So also for you guys to know, I will be sending out a copy of this so you can print this out or do it a direct copy from the call today. So we'll have that available for you. At the top box here, let's just call it your yearly revenue. Let's call it, it might be different across the board for each of you, 200,000. Now, as a realtor, how do we get there? Right? I've added notes in here, so if you're doing it on your own, you could see how to calculate it. But for today's extensive purposes, we're going to assume that your unit goal is going to be based off of a 3% gross commission. Now, I understand that different brokerages might act differently. If you're with EXP, KW, wherever your home brokerage is, we're going to assume 3% based in Columbus, Ohio, of about an average sales price of $300,000. So now that we're on the same playing field, we would say about an average commission is $9,000. I understand there are some fees and other things involved. Obviously, you have your taxes, but to keep it simple, we're going to use this as our commission goal for our revenue, right? So we have the calculations down here, but for a real simple reverse engineering, we're going to say 200,000 divided by $9,000. So that's giving you guys about 22.2 deals. We can round up for the heck of it, call it 23 deals across 12 months, about 2 deals a month. So in this unit category, we're going to put 23 deals. And I want to emphasize on how do we get there. So this is the Realtor business plan. So we're going to plan out what actions you need to take. As you can probably see, we have some clue of what the next steps are below. But I want to talk about the measurables first. So in this measurable section, we have, we'll say the two biggest pillars are referral-based business and internet lead-based business for realtors. Now, I want to talk about both of those. Obviously, we can spend a long time talking about different referral-based systems, different internet lead strategies. For conversation's sake, let's call it 50% of your business will be referral-based and 50% will be internet ad lead-based. Obviously, that might vary depending on if you have a team, if you're solo, how long you've been in the business. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to say 50 and 50, right? Now, based off of our conversion rates on like a lead coming into closing for our referral based, it's about 25%. So about 1 in 4 people that you're going to talk to is going to close on a house. So we're at this reversing stage, right? So now we need to say, if 50% of our business is going to be referral and 50% is going to be ad, that's going to leave us with about, call it 12 from referrals and 11 from ads, right? So this is a simple equation here. If we have 12 closings from referrals at a 25% closing rate, that's going to leave us with 12 times 4. 48 total leads needed in the year of 2023 to hit your referral closing ratio, right? Now, internet leads, we can talk about these for a while. There's a lot of different strategies. They're very hard to convert. And a 3% conversion rate is an optimistic one, I would say. Now, certain realtors have great success, others maybe not so much. So for conversation's sake, let's say 11 closings at a 3% conversion rate. This is going to give you how to calculate that, right? So we're going to add 2 zeros to the units, divide by the conversion rate to get your total leads. So if we're going to say 11 closings, 2 zeros, we're going to divide by 3%. Oh, that's not going to do it for us. Right. What we have here.
I think it just has you divide by 3.
I think you're right.
And you end up with 367, I think.
Yeah, that would do it.
Common core math, you know, I'm brushing up on it here as we go.
That would do it. Let's call it 367. Right. So this is going to give you what you need to hit your unit goal. Now I'm getting close to my time here, so I'm going to cover this really quickly. The strategy to hit these goals are in the boxes below. Now this is going to be customized to your strategic business, right? I have your sphere of influence at about 25% of your referrals, your past client referrals, and current client referrals at 30%. We have your business referrals, which could be from financial planners, from attorneys, etc., and then your ad leads. I want to focus on this one for a second because I actually have a PDF example of how to convert on your past client and past client referrals. Guys, this stuff is gold on this sheet right here. I'm going to share this with everyone after the call. This gives you a script for a 30, 60, and 90-day call after closing. We have an A to Z program that if you follow, you'll end up calling your whole Rolodex 2 times a year. And then your top 50 past clients. This stuff, if you follow it and you follow it as, you know, as, what do you call it? I don't want to say, you know, strategically, but it will get you to your goal. So I'm going to send out what to call. This is going to give you who to call. And then we have some lead generating tactics here in each of the sources. On the right, we're going to add what our value proposition is for why would you choose me as a realtor over all the other 10,000 realtors in Columbus or wherever you're located. This is going to give you guys a very clear cut and precise plan to follow every week of the whole next year. Now, this will be my last point because I know we're hitting our time here, at least for my 10-minute goal. These are going to be your rocks for your quarter. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, it is mandatory that we at least review our goals once a quarter. And for example, your what may be making my A to Z calls every single week for the first 3 months of the year. You're going to type out when, you're going to type out who. Now, the who is going to vary if you have a team or if you work with anyone alongside you. So this is going to be your rocks that you're going to make sure you hit. And when you review monthly, you know they're for the quarter. And if you're slacking on any of them, you can adjust and plan accordingly to hit your goals. So this is a really important page here. As we scroll down, this is going to be a 1 through 4 step of what I just covered and why it's important. And then you have your notes at the bottom here. So Jim, really, the premise of this is reverse engineering what your income goal is and attacking it with a strategy based on, for Jim and Stacy, your team, based on the past years, on what you closed last year and the year before. You can plan for the next year. Or if you're new in the industry, you can basically tailor make this to what your next year wants to look like. So that's it. I told you it'd be quick. We're about at 10 minutes right now. And
I love what you said, Ryan. I love you
all I
said
have.
that you would go through this with people that are interested in seeing it. So this was kind of the overview of what they'd be getting. I
Right.
would say 99% of the agents that watch this don't have this. And the reason I would say the 99% because I don't have this. I've been doing this a long, long time. I
Sure,
don't have
sure.
anything that's this systematized. I think I made that word up, systematized. I'm not sure if that's a real word, but it's great. I love it. Gold star for that. And I will highly recommend to everybody, all of our agents that we have, I think we're a little over 140 agents now total, that they do
Sure.
something like this. Because the last thing you want to do is guess where you're going to be at the end of the year. And it happens to agents a lot.
Right.
They don't have a business plan. They get along great with people. They're a people person, they're bubbly and everything, and they get along with people, but they don't have that business plan. So I think this is done for you. Why recreate the wheel? If you're
Right.
watching this, get with Ryan and hook up with him. He can probably do this over Zoom if you can't get a
Sure
chance
can. Yeah.
to visit with him. Obviously, he's a lender and he's looking to earn your business. NFM's a great lender, a great company to be working for, and that is highly. What's some of their things that they have that no one else does? Ryan, you were spitting some off to me at the open house that they do for you,
Yeah, Jim. Well, obviously, I'm a little biased, of course.
right?
NFM is notorious for
This
closing
is
in
your chance to
21
go, baby.
days. Oh,
Promotion,
man.
self-promotion stinks in the regular world. We're in real estate. Self-promotion is what we do. So go for it. Let's hear it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I mean, we're notorious for closing in 21 days. Everything's done in-house, nationwide direct lender. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it's the relationship between you and the loan officer.
Hey, Ryan,
NFM
tell
lending
everybody,
is,
sorry to cut you off. I got a lot of
yeah,
young agents that are going to watching this. What is
yeah.
that you just said? Nation direct lender. Say that again. What is that? What's that mean?
We're a nationwide direct lender. Basically, the premise of that, without getting into the weeds, is, we don't broker anything out. We go directly through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That means we have access to some of the lowest and most competitive rates in the industry. So not only do we have top tier service, we also have top tier products and are affordable for your buyers.
You said you have on-site underwriting. Is that what you said?
Sure did. We do
Yeah.
not outsource anything.
So if you're a new agent and you're hearing that, and you're like, well, why would I care about that? Why would an agent care that you guys are doing on-site underwriting?
Underwriting sometimes gets outsourced to, dare I say, other countries. And not that they don't do a good job, it adds delay in the process. And when we need to close fast and on time, we control the whole process from beginning to end. We don't leave it in anyone else's hands to close our deals.
Never hurts when you can walk across the office and
Sure doesn't.
have a friendly conversation with an underwriter about sometimes things get lost in an, it's true. Sometimes they get lost in an email or a text, and you need that nonverbal communication to help get things across the finish line. Correct?
Exactly. Couldn't
Yeah.
have said it
Not
better
that
myself.
the way I said that sounded kind of shady, the way I was saying. No, nothing is shady about it. It's a good thing when you can put a personal touch to getting that stuff done. So I think that's great. Great question from Charlene. Charlene, just so you know, is a monster agent. She works in Southeast Ohio and West Virginia, as we lovingly call the MOV, Charlene, right? The Mid Ohio Valley, even though you're on the West Virginia side. Where are you working, Ryan?
Yeah, Charlene, great question. We're licensed in 49 out of 50 states. You'll never guess that one state that we're not licensed in. It's a weird one. However, my primary business is located in Columbus, Ohio. And if there's someone across borders in the United States, I can help them.
Got it. Are you servicing West Virginia though? That's where she does 90% of her deals.
The only state we don't do is New York. So West
Oh yeah.
Virginia is all on all on and green and good to go.
New York's a weird state anyways.
It
They got
is,
they're their
you
own
know.
country. They do stuff different over there. So anyways, I got friends that are in New York, so I hope they watch this. They watch
Yeah.
they watch my YouTube channel, so they'll call me and give me the business after hearing this. All right, so I love it. I think it's great. What a great timing for coming into the new year. I've been doing a bunch of Mojo calls, Ryan, on talking about setting goals, clear, concise, written goals, SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, results
Right.
oriented, time bound, SMART goals. And then inside those SMART goals, you have to have the action steps in place to attain the goal that you want to have. You can't just say, I'm going to make $200,000 in 2023. It's great. You have it in writing, but what are the
Right.
steps you're going to take? And generating more leads, right? That sounds great, but where are they coming from? That's what this is. This is even further. This is another step in. So I think
Exactly.
this is a great step. Everybody should take advantage of this and get a chance. My dog agrees too there in the background. So any other questions? That was a great question that we had by Charlene. Anybody else have some? And by the way, Ryan, put your contact info or say it out loud here so people are watching the video, and then put in the chat box too. How do people
Yeah.
get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna leave my email. I have a weird last name, so I'm gonna leave my email and
Pronounce
phone
it for
number
me.
in the
It's not
chat.
Cebes. How do you say it?
It's got a Q sound in it, so Quaman. It rolls off the
Quaman.
tongue.
All right, Quaman. All right, good.
Quaman. Yeah,
I'll
you
only
got
ask that for the next 5 more times when we talk, and then after that, I'll have it. Remember, I'm old. I forget
it.
stuff.
Can
Okay, I
I
won't
do
hold you to it.
my VA questions and see if he passes?
Oh, you want to ask him a VA question? He may not be VA. Are you doing VA, Ryan?
We sure do VA. You can put me on the spot, of course.
All right,
She's gonna.
I
She's
ask
gonna.
every lender, not everyone passes.
All right.
First off is the easy one. If a service member has 10% or more service connected disability, what is the benefit?
You
You
stumped me,
asked that
Charlene.
fast. I didn't even catch
That was
If a service member has a 10% or more service connected disability, what is the advantage?
funding fee is lower for them.
Not exactly.
What is it? What's the
Almost.
answer?
It's waived.
It's
The funding
waived.
fee is
There you
So it
go.
is lower. It's real low. It's
It's
waived.
zero.
All right, so here's question number 2.
Is
This
this the
one's the
zinger?
important
Do
one.
we have to play the
This
Jeopardy music while you do this, Charlene?
this is the education one. Okay. So everybody else listen to this because I feel that it's very important.
All
All
right.
right. So I'm a VA specialist. All right. So if they don't have a disability, all right, and then they haven't applied yet, but that they've served 3 tours in Iraq and they deserve that disability. And you go and get them, you go and send them off to the veteran service officer, DAV, VFW, wherever, to get their disability. And they close, or you go close your deal and everything. Yeah, they have to pay their funding fee and stuff. But since they applied, and once they get that 10% or more service connection, then what happens? What can you do then?
I would say you can waive that funding fee, but
You can
I
go
don't
back,
know.
you can waive it. So if you have a veteran and they haven't applied yet, if you get them to apply before closing and it gets backdated to the date of applying, then and they get that 10% service connected disability, you can actually go back to the VA and request a refund of that money. Most of the time, the vast majority, they actually get that. In addition to that, they get a check for life. And then all of a sudden, as a realtor or lender, you're their hero. Because all
Charlene
of a
does
sudden
about
they get a check.
50. Charlene does about
Wow.
50 VA deals a year, so she's a beast down there with the veterans coming in.
Wow.
Not
got
this year, but
if there is
yeah.
if there is any obscure VA deal that's ever been done, she knows every single minutia on it. But hey, you got thanks, Charlie. Ryan, you got a testimonial here from Taurus. Am I saying that right?
Oh, Terrace.
Terrace,
Sure
He said,
are,
I've done
yeah.
a few deals with Ryan. He's a beast. NFM lending is the way to go. He gave you a fist bump. So that's awesome.
Thank you, Terrace.
And then for those of you who can't see the chat that are watching this, here's Ryan's contact information. His phone number is 614-369-4855. So 614-369-4855. Nico Combs says, thank you. This was great. And then Ryan Quammen's email, don't spell it Quammen, it's Ryan, it's R, and then C, V as in Victor, A as in Alpha, MMEN at nfmlending.com.
Yes,
and
sir.
then we'll get his stuff on there and put it up. I'll also have it, if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, I'll have it down in the description. If you like the video, throw it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ryan will have a copy of this too to put out on his. But anybody else want to add anything? Mindy, you're in title, is that right? We'll get you muted probably.
No, that's okay. Yes, I am in title, but I love business planning and I love working with Ryan. Ryan and I do quite a bit of business together. And shameless plug, MFM lending is fantastic.
Yep, we've been over to their office quite a bit there at Easton, so it's a great spot. You guys are still in the old. Are you guys in the old MI Homes building still? Are you on there in the?
We're off Easton Oval, so right across the street from that. Yeah, is that the old building? Okay.
In the 90s, that was the MI Homes building.
Okay.
We're talking before you were born, right? So
got it.
No worries on that, man. So great stuff. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Look, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year coming up. The real estate market in 2023 is going to be a different market than what we've seen. It is no longer a shifting market. It has shifted, but every single person that watches this, your income and your success is going to be based on what you do. Other agents are going to take a hit. It does not have to be you. However, you're going to have the right people in place that you're paired up with. You're going to have a business plan. You're going to have a written goals, and you're going to have to develop skills that, quite frankly, over the last 10 years, actually 12 years, you haven't had to have. It has been smooth sailing for over a decade, and it's just going to be a normal real estate market now, what it's normally like back in the day. And you're going to see that. And so everybody here is going to have a great year. It's going to be awesome, but you've got to plan ahead, and this business planning thing is going to be great. And I'm going to get with you, Ryan, on mine and Stacy's numbers and run through it and see how that looks. So I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for jumping on. I don't think there's any more questions. Charlene, great video, great lesson. She said, thanks, Ryan. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.
Don't make fun of my bald